This is a crash course lesson, tutorial in using Google Sheets or any spreadsheet really. And so to do that, I just want to need a problem to plot. And what I want to do is I want to plot two functions and see where they meet. So here's the basic problem. You don't need to understand it. It's not that big of a deal. But I have a car at rest and a car that's moving. So you can see little things right there. It's going meow. And at this time, this one's going to accelerate up to try to catch that one. So I have the velocity of car A is 15 meters per second. It starts at x equals 10 meters and is not accelerating. Car B starts from rest at position x equals 0, but it has an acceleration of 5 meters per second. So where is it going to reach it? And we're going to plot this to find that. And I want to use this as an example in Google Sheets. So I'm moving over to Google Sheets because that's what I do. If you want to use Excel, it's pretty much the same thing. OpenOffice, pretty much the same thing. And I'm not the best at graphing in Google Sheets. I do make some mistakes, but I'm going to do it anyway. I do understand the basic idea. And the basic idea of Google Sheets is that you can put a number in a cell right there too. And then I can use this other cell and calculate something based on that thing right there. So let's put a number right here, 1, and then I'm going to say this is equal. If I put equal, I can make an equation, and I'm going to click this cell, which is A1. I could type A1, but I can click it, and then I'm going to say plus that one. And then so see, since this is an equation equals A1 plus B1, then it just takes whatever's in there, whatever in there, and put it right there. That's a spreadsheet. That's the main idea of a spreadsheet. If you're into spreadsheets or you need to use this, this is how you do that. Okay. And then the nice thing is if I change this to 5, that changes, right? It's not a calculator. It's basically a program. I can put whatever I want in there. Okay. So I want to make a plot of the position for car A, the position of car B as a function of time. So I need to calculate all those things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enter all my initial condition variables. And this is something that I do, and you could do it in a different way. I just want you to be happy with what you do. Okay, so I'm going to look over here at my stuff. I have car A. I'm going to write down its stuff. So I'm going to write this as VA0. That's the initial velocity of 0. This is just a text, right? Since I didn't start with an equal sign, it's a text. It's a text cell. It doesn't mean anything except for me, the human. Now right here, I can't. Now see, it got mad. I changed it to a text, and it's like I can't add that. Don't worry, I'm going to change it. Now, right here, I can put in my initial x velocity for A. It's 15. Now I'm going to put x A0, my initial x position, equals, again, that's a text cell, it's not anything, and 10. That's what I had. Let's do the same thing right here for car B. VB0 equals 0. And I didn't put in units. We're just doing numbers. You could add the units in as another cell, but I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. XB0 equals 0. And then I also have an acceleration, so let's call that A equals, and it was 5. Okay. Now, with that, I can calculate my equation, right? I know the equations for those two. They just depend on time, which I haven't done yet. And, yeah. So let's just go over here and make a time column, T, and I'll put it in units of seconds, just because I want to. Let's start at T equals 0. I just wrote the number 0. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. I'm just going to go by increments of half a second. And you could do different increments, but then if I go by half a second, the next time would be 0.5. And then the next time would be 1. And you see, I didn't calculate anything. I just kind of made a pattern. Well, spreadsheets are pretty smart. If I highlight all this, and then down here I have, this is the fill bar. So that's the fill bar right there. I can just drag that down, and it will figure out what I'm trying to do. It's not that, it's pretty smart. So right there. So see, it did it all by half a second intervals. That's fine. Great. Now I want to write an equation. I want to calculate the position of car A. I'm going to call this XA, and I want to enter an equation on how to calculate that. Remember, it's right here. I have my equation. XA is XA0 plus VA times T. So I want to enter that as an equation right here. Again, I'm going to start with the equal sign. Now I want it to be XA. Oops. Let's escape. I don't know what I did wrong. Let me scroll down. Okay, so I can see all my stuff up here. Equals XA0, which is this cell right here. I'm going to click it. It's cell D1, but I could click it. Plus the initial velocity, which is this cell right here. Times the time, which is this cell right here, right? Because the time's going to change. And then I could press return. And it will want to fill it, but it doesn't really work. Because, see, the spreadsheet's not super smart. It's just medium smart. So medium smart says, oh, I know what you're doing. I'm going to move everything down one. I'm going to use this time. I'm going to use the next velocity, which is right here, the one below it. I see the pattern, but the pattern's wrong, right? Because I don't want to change my velocity. I don't want to change my initial position. I can fix that up here. If you see my equation, D1, which is this initial position, plus B1, which is my initial velocity, times that time. When I scroll down, I don't want to change the velocity, the initial velocity or the initial position. I can do that by adding in here a $sign. So if I say B $1, it means don't change the one value. Always use that same thing. And the same thing right here, right there. Don't change that one. Okay. Now it gives me the same answer. And when I pull down now, it's going to do it correctly. So let's click on one of these cells right here and look at the equation. See, so it says D1, B1, A23. So it changed the time, but did not change the initial velocity, did not change the initial position, and that's what we want. Now let's go up here and do the same thing for XB. No, I want capital B. And again, we're just going to write an equation. Equals, it's the initial position, which is this cell. I'm going to click that, plus the initial velocity, which is this cell, times time, which is this cell over here, plus the 0.5 times the acceleration, which is this cell, times this time squared. And I could press return if I wanted to. But again, I'm going to have a problem, right? Because I don't want to change. The only thing I want to change is time, which is this value right here, A5. So I do not want to change the acceleration. I do not want to change the initial velocity. I do not want to change the initial position. So I put a $sign in front of those. Now if I press return, it works. And it's like, okay, hey, do you want to fill this in? And you know what? I do. So check that box there. Now I have all my values. I have all my position values for both car A and for car B. Okay, so what's next? Now I want to see where they meet, and I could just scroll down here and say, when are the X values the same? I'm just looking. It's somewhere between, let's see, 95, 90, 100, 105. It's somewhere between here, right? It's somewhere, well, this one is ahead, and then this one's ahead. So it's somewhere between 6 and 7 seconds. Okay, and we could change our time interval and make it better, but I don't really care. That's the thing I don't like about spreadsheets. If I have really a lot of data, there's a lot of scrolling because those things are really long, and I don't like that. I don't use spreadsheets. I use Python, but maybe you use Python, or you use spreadsheets, really. Now, we do want to graph this, so we're going to insert a graph. The best way to do this is just to highlight everything that you want. Now, I'm just going to go down here and click Shift-Click. So now I have all my data highlighted that I want to plot. And you'll notice that I have time and 2 positions. Again, the spreadsheet's pretty smart to figure these things out. If I if I add a graph, it'll do it correctly if you do the right graph. So up here, insert chart. And now I need to tell what kind of chart. You do not want a line chart. You want an XY scatter. And that's it right there. That looks like it. My thing's kind of... No, line chart. Let's see. It's kind of too big. Let's see. Let me make this smaller. Type area. Chart type. I want XY scatter. Line, area, column, bar, pie, scatter. Let's just do scatter. Let's do that one. That's fine. Again, I told you I'm not great at graphing, right? I told you that beforehand. So that's fine. Let's just click OK and leave it at that. And there we have our nice little graph, right? There's my time. Now, I did not give a label on the vertical axis because I'm plotting two different things. It's like, I don't know what you want to plot. You could fix that. I'm not going to fix that again. This is not my favorite thing to plot. And I want to see where these two cross. Right here, that's where they cross, right between 7 seconds or so, whatever. So that's how you'd make a graph. Now, I do want to show one more thing. One of the other things that you're going to want to do with a spreadsheet while I have this open is to fit a best fit line. So if I click on this, right click on this, and go to, I might forget how to do this. It's chart style, okay. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I can't remember how to do it. I have another video on that. Like I said, I just don't use this for my graphing programming much anymore. But it does give the labels up here. It says it's XA and XB, so that's pretty good. I mean, I would probably accept this in a live report if that was a live report. But that's how you make a graph in a spreadsheet. But most importantly, that's how you do calculations in a spreadsheet. That's how you use the cells. And that's what makes spreadsheets so powerful. Okay. Hope that helps.